The lesson God brought out to me was that when the time is right, He was going to make it happen. I didn't understand it, and it wasn't a yes, so I just kept it because there were questions in my heart.
Who dances better?
We cannot dance to say.
So 0.
We are not dancers.
Welcome to my Purpose Talk Show. My name is Folashade Abeleje. On today's episode on the show, we have Purposeful Couple Series, and I have here with me a kingdom-minded couple who are passionate about advancing God's kingdom. Welcome with me on the show, Mr. and Mrs. ADENIRANS.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
All right, so straight to the point. So can you tell us your understanding of purpose?
All right. My understanding of purpose is the essence for which a thing is made or created. And as believers, drawing from the revelations we have from the scriptures, we know that the purpose of God for our lives is to fulfill His desires. And what's His desires from scriptures? The desire is that all men of the world should worship Him, should serve Him. And so, while we are worshiping and serving God, we should also ensure to bring in others who have not come to this understanding. That is my understanding of purpose.
All right, sir. So, can you tell us God's purpose for your life?
Yeah, God's purpose for my life is in line with what I said earlier on. It is to use my resources, to use the knowledge, skills, opportunities that I have, that God presents to me, to bring in people who have not known the Lord. You have 200 billion of people in this world. Billion, not million.
Are we up to 200 billion in the world?
Oh, sorry. That's Nigeria population. I mean 2 billion. Okay. 2 billion, yes, 2 billion. Who have not known about the first coming of Christ, not to talk about the second coming of Christ. So we have an assignment. It is an unfinished task, to bring in that vast number of people.
Okay.
So that is my purpose. That's wherein my purpose lies.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, can you tell us God's purpose for your life?
Okay. God's purpose for my life simply is to reach the unreached and also to be a helper.
Okay. To be a helper in what aspect?
Okay, that I got that understanding from the story of David. How even after God had anointed him to become a king, God had to send him daily help for him to be made king. For the purpose was for him to be made king, and the Bible recorded that army grew until it became like the army of God. So in the same way, he couldn't have achieved that purpose just by himself. So in the same way, I am to be a helper to fulfill certain visions that God will have me do.
All right. So I just want to buttress what she said. She said helper. So there are people that God has given the purpose to pioneer a work, and they have to start that work. And there are other set of people that God has, sent as helpers to those people that He has given the work of pioneering to help them. So you might be someone out there that God has not really told you to start a work, but He has told you to help somebody that He has given a work to start. So you should know that you can also have the purpose to help, not just to pioneer. So don't just look at purpose from I must start a work, I must start a work. You can also look at purpose from the end of I must help a work that God has started to see that it comes to fulfillment. All right. Sir, can you tell us when you met your wife and what attracted you to her?
Where I met her?
When?
Okay, I met her in 2013 or 14 now? Okay, yes. 2014, that was when we were returning from IT. Yes, 2013, okay. 2014.
So what attracted you to her?
Okay, I can't talk about what attracted me to her without talking about at least a little about how we met.
Okay.
It was during an interview. We were interviewing people who were to take up leadership in a group that we belonged to while we were on campus. And I saw the sincerity in which she answered some of...
What role was she being interviewed for? What position, rather?
The way it was done then, we didn't really have the position in mind. It was after we had selected the people we wanted that we now...
All right.
Yes. So the sincerity with which she answered, some of the questions, I was amazed, and the meekness to a point where she was even shedding tears.
Okay.
So that was what drew me to her. And then, I started paying my attention to her.
Okay.
Yes. Is that all?
So, can you tell us what, made you to reach out to her to ask her to be your wife?
Yes, the fact that I was attracted to her, for me, was not enough to, approach her or propose to her, because actually she won't be the first person I was attracted to. But even then, I had not prayed over those that I was attracted to. That's to tell you the level of attraction. And so I prayed about it. I consulted with friends, consulted with my biological father, who happened to be my spiritual father. But beyond the consultations, I had to pray. I took out time. At the time, I knew I needed retreat for this, because it's not something I would just jump into. So I took days to pray about it. And in the dream, the Lord spoke to me that it's not, that it's a yes, but then I should wait. So I, be hearing that instruction from the Lord, I had to wait for another 1 year and about 6 months before I eventually proposed.
Okay, so during those times you were waiting, did you approach her for friendship, or you were just waiting and it was just hello, hi?
Well, I didn't need to approach her for friendship, because we were already in the group together.
Okay.
In fact, which year was that? 2015, we embarked on a mission trip to a mission field. I was the chairman of the committee and she was the FinSec.
Okay.
So that's to tell you that we already had a ground, yes, for relationship. So,
right.
Yeah, that's it.
So, I'm sure there was a time he proposed after the 1 year and 6 months that he waited. There was a time he proposed. So when he proposed, how did you give him a yes?
Okay. When he proposed, he came out of the blues. So he didn't get a yes at that point.
Okay.
That's because I wasn't expecting the proposal. For others that came before him, or even after him, I knew they were coming to propose, because there's this attitude signals.
Can you elaborate on the attitude?
Okay. When an individual is interested in you, there's this extra fondness that they put into their relationship with you. Then they begin to ask you about some details.
Details like...
Yes. Details they don't ask on a normal day. Like, have you eaten? What did you eat?
And I don't like those questions.
You know what I'm saying? So they begin to ask some extra details. You just know that this person has gotten fonder with me, and then he's driving somewhere.
Okay.
So for others, I always knew, and they eventually came, except I was able to put in measures to ward them off. Okay, back to him.
Okay.
When he came, I didn't know. He didn't give me any signal at all. We were talking. We're just brethren.
He wasn't asking you have you eaten
at all. We were just brethren. When he needed to give me advice as a senior friend, he was in 500 level when I was in 200 level. He did that So I had no idea, and when the proposal came, I was sad because he had become a good friend, a good friend, and I knew that I was going to tell him a no, naturally, because I wasn't ready for a relationship, and I wasn't one for an undefined or a casual relationship. So I knew I was going to give him a no, or I felt I was going to give him a no, and then I was sad. So I had to pray, and in praying, the question I was asking God, that God, should I even be asking if I should go into a relationship at this time? Because to me, it's not yet time.
Okay.
But how God answered was with the story of Isaac's wife, Rebecca. How the servants went to seek Rebecca for Isaac. And the lesson God brought out to me was that when the time is right, He was going to make it happen. I didn't understand it, and it wasn't a yes. So I just kept it because there were questions in my heart. We are from different backgrounds, different church orientations. So it wasn't going to be that easy, and I wasn't ready. Since I didn't get a yes, I went on with my IT. It was just before my IT, and I stopped praying. But after a while, he had to ask me again that how far with my proposal. He promised not to disturb me, and he kept that promise.
Okay.
But I kept mute for a long time, and he had to ask again. So I promised him. I told him I had stopped praying, but I promised him that I was going to resume praying. So I'll give him an answer. Then, while on IT, it was in September during my Bible study one afternoon, the answer came. And the Lord told me expressly that, yes, He's the one. And when that word came from the scriptures, I just knew it was about Him, but I kept it to myself until December when He came to extract the answer out of me.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you gave him a yes.
Yes, I did.
All right. So I want to ask this question. After giving me a yes, was it like an official relationship started or?
After giving him a yes, an official relationship started.
All right.
Because his parents were aware. An official courtship, his parents were aware.
Okay.
My mom was also aware.
Okay. So when the relationship started, of course, people were friends. When the relationship started, there was this synergy between the both of you. Like, when I mean synergy, like, you guys were thinking alike, values and all. So was it like that all through the time of courtship?
Not entirely.
Okay.
Thankfully, we had been friends before, and we met in a mission group. So that already gave us a common ground. But because we were from different backgrounds, there were differences.
Okay.
And then there were specific issues that we had to talk about to be sure of what is your stand on this, what is my stand on this, and then be able to harmonize them.
Okay, so was there a time that there was a major differences that you guys had to, take time to sort things out in that area?
No, I can't remember any.
Right.
We didn't have.
All right. Okay, so having passed through courtship and you are now married, how do you help each other to fulfill purpose?
Well, it's easier because our purpose is intertwined.
Okay.
Yes, we have the same direction, so it's very easy. I'm a minister, and there are times I have to be away on retreat and all of that. And, even the fact that we hold our devotions every morning, she has this teaching gift. So it's easy for us to look into the scriptures and draw insights from the scriptures together. That helps us, as we need to interact with people, whether on the pulpit or off the pulpit. So I would say the fact that we draw from the word together, scripture says that two are better than one. So the fact that we draw insights from the scriptures, number one, that is a big, help for each other. I don't know if that answered your question.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ma, what advice would you give for a single lady who is waiting on God for a marital partner and nothing is forthcoming in that line?
My advice is to keep waiting.
Okay.
The Bible says, wait on the Lord, be of good courage. So there's the best comes only from the Lord. And it is by waiting on Him that we can get If we go out to seek by ourselves, He will pick what is not good for you. He created us and He knows the best for us. When you wait on Him, I can assure you, He will give you the best. And it might seem as though it is long, but know that the Lord is keeping you for His perfect will. And when He comes, you will find rest. And that's the most important thing in a relationship. Rest.
All right. So while you wait, what do you do while you wait?
While you wait, keep praying, keep developing yourself. Don't stay. Keep fulfilling purpose. It's not until you get married before you can fulfill God's purpose for your life. So while you're waiting, keep getting closer to God. Keep building capacity, because the Lord is also working on the man that He is preparing you from. And it wouldn't be nice when both of you now come together. The man has built capacity and you cannot help his ministry. You cannot help his purpose. That would be wrong.
All right. Sir, can you tell us the vision for your family?
The vision for our family is to see the will of God done here on earth. From the Lord's Prayer, it says, Our Father who art in heaven,
Okay.
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in heaven. Be done on earth as it is in heaven. So our vision is drawn from that line, to see the will of God established here on earth.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experiences on, purpose and, meeting each other and pursuing God's plans for your life. So quickly, I have a short game here and I call it the Purposeful Couple game. So I'm just going to be asking the both of you a question. So if it's me, you show us me. If it's your wife, you show us her. Likewise, if it's me, you show us me. Then him, you show us him. All right. So please be sincere with your answer. Your husband said you're very sincere. All right. So who prays more? Okay. Who eats more?
We don't get to see the answers.
You can see it. It's not a big
Okay,
deal.
so who prays more? Oh, yeah. It's
Who eats more?
Who eats more?
It's more, that's difficult to say.
But she said it's you.
I'm going to say it's him.
Okay.
So who is more observant?
Oh.
Okay. Who talks more?
That's difficult. You think it's
Okay. Who socializes more?
Oh.
Okay. Who loves to attend functions more? Ceremonies, wedding.
Tough. That would be me.
Yes.
Okay. Who is easily worried?
Easily worried.
Okay. Who is more worded? Who dances better?
We cannot dance to say.
So 0.
We are not dancers.
Okay. Who complains more?
Complain. That's difficult to answer.
Okay. Who is more talented?
More talented.
Who fast and prays more? All right, as expected. All right, thank you so much for watching today's episode on my Purpose Talk Show, Purposeful Couple Series with the ADENIRANS. So I hope you got something from their experiences on purpose and their journey as a couple. We've seen that they have a purpose to reach the unreached. Mrs. ADENIRANS told us she has a ministry to help. So we should emphasize that, like I said earlier, God can give you a purpose to help another person to fulfill the mandate that He has given them. That does not mean you are not fulfilling God's purpose for your life. It just means that that's what God will have you do. Then another point was the part whereby he heard God concerning his wife, but God told him to wait. We don't actually know why God told him to wait, but there is a reason why God told him to wait. So there might be somebody out there that God has showed you who to get married to, and God is saying wait. Even Mrs. ADENIRANS also mentioned that point whereby she had to wait. Yes.
Come earlier. Oh, that's why
So at any point in time you are in your purposeful journey, just keep hearing from God. Keep connecting with God. Keep paying attention to what He will have you do part-time. And as you follow through, you would meet His will for your life, not just in purpose, in marriage, and in every other aspect of your life. Thank you so much for watching to this episode.